Good morning, everybody. Thanks and welcome back to Mark Holbit's vlog. And today's day 7 here in the Mayan. And I just want to start the conversation about extending, more things I've been talking about or thinking about regarding the electric vehicles. Obviously, yesterday, the more as I ponder, adding a little electrification to ICE vehicles does in fact add a lot of fun and dynamics. But does an entirely electric vehicle satisfy? I mean, I've talked about this a few times on my channel already, and I personally don't think it entirely satisfies all the needs, but it goes beyond that. It's more than just like the driving experience that I think a lot of us feel that we're gonna lack with this single gear drive, no noise, no rumble, none of that excitement. There's many other parts to the electrification, this whole change switch over in the industry, that I feel really don't think is going to be advantageous for anybody. I don't think it's a great situation, and I certainly don't think it's going to be a money saver for all those people out there right now that think that's the end all be all. It's going to be the best thing for the environment, like what we're looking at here to keep everything green. I don't think that's going to be the solution for that. I also don't think it's going to be the solution to save money in your pocket. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, hey, look, I can drive my electric vehicle. It's only costing me 20% of what was costing me in my on my gas car. Guess what? Those days are limited and those days are numbered. And I've got some examples of that I want to talk about. I've been watching some or reading through on some documentation and coming across some info and some theories of my own, and I would just kind of want to share that today. But as we head on down to the pool today, which we're going to do, we may even head down to the beach again. As you saw last night, we had a little bit of there was a dance show and we went out for dinner and we were down on the beach. And it was just a nice night just to get out and about. And today, we're probably going to expand on that a little bit. Maybe, like I said, head on down to the beach side here or something. We'll see. But make sure you stick around. So let's get rolling. So here we are again. It's been a long day. Actually, it's been a lot of interesting things going on, some excitement. Again, some time by the pool, but there was a little situation we had earlier. There's an older gentleman that actually went down poolside. Now, fortunately, there was a lot of people. I hustled over there too with about 4 or 5 others that helped this gentleman. And it turns out, it looks like one of them was actually a doctor. Walked this old guy through some of the things, assessed his condition, and basically looks like the gentleman just had a collapse and kind of, I don't know, looks like stabilized the situation and got this older gentleman to some help. So it was a little bit of excitement there for sure. But moving on, probably gonna head out tonight, grab some eats and look at more shows, grab some some entertainment this evening. And the one thing I want to kind of talk about, obviously what I started chatting about this morning, was the whole idea about buying this next generation of cars and what it means for you for owning it long term. A lot of these new technology is going to be, there's no questions about it. It's going to be totally hands off. Try to buy a new Tesla, yeah, right. Good luck in trying to fix anything yourself. That's not going to happen. Even could you imagine a McLaren that craps the bed and it's a hybrid twin turbo V6? Yikes, that could be rough, but that's going to be a thing. That'll be the future. Ferrari in that 296, now word has it they have a 7-year warranty, or sorry, no, 3-year warranty, 7-year free maintenance. So it's going to sort of help ease some of the pain there buying the Ferrari. Not all the manufacturers are going to extend themselves like that. I think Ferrari's doing some things just to sort of appease and provide a little bit extra comfort. But the point of the matter is, how are people going to possibly even consider fixing and maintaining? And like I said, what are you going to do when the vehicle's 5 years of age? I mean, we always talk about cars like BMWs being, toss them down the road once they're 5 years old or even 3 years old, because traditionally, they get kind of pricey and they start breaking down and coolant leaks. Believe me when I say this, that's the least of your concerns dealing with those kind of scenarios. Coolant leaks and some water pumps and thermostats, that's not really even the big issue here when you're talking about future repairs. If you're getting an electric car, or even worse, I would even challenge the notion that some of these new high technology, high performing supercars that are hybrid, twin turbo, V6, the whole nine, are going to be even more extreme in terms of repairs and maintenance and issues that you're going to be dealing with. It's going to be much more challenging to get sorted out when you have an issue. I mean, good luck. I mean, you don't just have your conventional, highly complex technology in terms of the drivetrain. Think of a double clutch transmission. Think of a twin turbo V6. You got turbos that are in a hot V, and they're spinning at a really high RPM, creating all this additional heat, creating other complexities based on a manufacturer that is essentially a Formula One manufacturer, of course. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the 296 is my personal favorite right now in the current generation of supercars. I think the car literally delivers the goods at all kinds of levels. I would argue it's even more interesting than the SF90, which is slightly more powerful at about 1,000 ponies versus the 296, which is, you're all aware, about 820 horse. You can debate the numbers, but the 296 is rear-wheel drive, SF90 is all-wheel drive. It's just a big thundering hammer, whereas the 296 is a lot more drivable. Bottom line is, things are going to get pricey. They're all going to be great out of the box. Take it out for the test drive. The first year or 2 years, it's going to be a non-issue. It's going to be pretty easy to own, pretty harmless. Gone are the days of, you think back, the Lamborghini Murcielago, a car like that, even in the supercar world, very expensive car to maintain. Big V12, gearbox in front of the engine meant you pretty much had to pull engine for everything you did for maintenance. It's a very pricey car to own, but relatively simple in the sense of good old-fashioned V12, naturally aspirated, nothing complex. The junky e-gear system was the worst thing you had to deal with. But now you're going to be dealing with a lot more problems, potentially with some of the new tech. And once you're dealing with that, I mean, good luck. So there's not much you're going to do at home. So the question has to be asked, is this something you can actually own outright? And is it something that you're going to be able to own for 10 years? I mean, I know a lot of people are buying Murcielagos, cars like that, the older, a Ferrari 458, the last of the breed, naturally aspirated, arguably some of the best sounding Ferraris of all time for road cars. Those are great machines. What about Mustangs and Camaros and Challengers and all these great cars that were a fairly simple beast compared to what's coming up? Are you going to be able to maintain that? What does 8 years, 10 years down the road look like when you buy that McLaren Arturo? I beg to kind of ask that question. I mean, think about Tesla. It's pretty much hands-off. Then you buy the McLaren. It's pretty much going to be hands-off. I think you'll struggle to do your own wheels. And some of these cars, even with center lock rims, you can't even change a tire or brakes, and you don't even want to, because carbon ceramic brakes, you chip them and you throw away the whole disc. Basically a throwaway. And about $8,000 to $10,000 a corner, it gets kind of pricey, so you don't even want to risk that. But the bottom line is, cars are getting so much better, so much more impressive, so much faster. Technology is just amazing. But can we in fact really even own these cars anymore? Can we own them beyond 4 or 5 years? And then even if we decide, okay, we can't, who's going to be ballsy enough to actually go out and buy one of these on the used car market that's, say, 7 years of age? You're dealing with, again, I use an Arturo, for example, or some of these other cars. I know Lamborghini's coming out pretty quick. Now, I will say Lambo has a slight uphanded advantage in terms of reliability, and that's simply because they're sharing a lot of the goods, R&D and all that with Audi, and that's certainly going to help them in the long run. But is this something that's really worthwhile for you guys? I know I'm willing to overextend myself to a point and possibly buy something like that. However, just know this, it's going to come at a risk. It's going to come at the risk that you're going to be entirely at the mercy of any dealer, whether it's not even just, again, I keep talking Ferrari, Lambo, McLaren, but it's not even those supercar brands. It's going to be the everyday cars that you and I are driving to work and to school. I mean, Teslas at the base model started out at 50 grand. I mean, that's pricey, but not extraordinarily pricey. It's something that a lot of people can afford. So is that something that is going to really hoop everybody for the long term? Are all these cars essentially going to have to be treated like the latest iPhone? Battery dies, throw it away, on to the next. And if that's the case, what does our whole economy look like? I can't imagine swapping out a $50,000 or $100,000 car every 2 or 3 years. Sure, you can lease it, but then where does that land at the end of the lease? And who's buying that lease return car if everybody knows that they're brutally unreliable? It's great for the new car owner or buyer, but what about the used car buyer that's out there lingering around and maybe doesn't have the full beans to spend on the whole 9 yards? What is that actually going to mean in this world of new technology? Is anybody going to buy these cars on the used car market? Is it worth the risk? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your ideas below. Is it something that you guys are excited for? I know a lot of people are fighting it tooth and nail, this whole technology thing, all these new cars that are coming out on the market. And is it just something that you're just going to say the hell with it? I'm going to keep fixing my good old Camry, or I'm going to keep fixing my Jeep, or I'm going to keep fixing Lamborghini Gallardo, whatever it is. Something simple, naturally aspirated, low maintenance. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, we're going to get on down and head off for dinner. Maldivas? What's that, Marcus?
Momo, raise your hand. Momo, come over here. We have a prize for you. Come on. Come on, Momo. We have a prize for you.
So what are you craving right now to eat?
No, we're not doing
Hey? Yeah, you are. Kind of tired of all the food around here, looking for some ranchies or at McDonald's.
Sure.
Well, we'll see if we can maybe find some tomorrow to go scoop up, take a walk along the beach, and maybe we'll find something. I don't know if they have something in play out there or what, but anyhow, we'll call it a night.